pads, 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 full pads. The first practice. We're going to talk about it next. Fran Duffy, Zack, Berman, Bo Wulf on the PHLY Eagles podcast. Welcome to the PHLY Eagles podcast on a steamy Tuesday. Bo Wulf, Fran Duffy, Zack, Berman, and we are presented by Doodad Dental and TrueMark Financial. The first day in full pads. Lots to talk about. How are we feeling? Like football guys?
This is what really separates the men from the boys, right? That's what we had the people in the chat yesterday saying, "Oh, none of this matters. None of this talk matters until the pads come on." Well,
Yeah.
we had uppers on yesterday. So they had the shells on yesterday. Now we got full pads today.
Yeah, but I mean, how weak of a team is this that they have to move practice up an hour just because it's going to be like 110 degrees? I mean, go win a Super Bowl or don't. This is Nancy boy stuff.
I mean, they don't even have 2-a-days anymore.
Come on.
I like it better. First off, doing well, excited for the show. But yeah, the earlier the better. That's, practice in the morning. Wake up, get to work. I like it. So yeah, I enjoy the 9 a.m. practice.
I actually do too. Although, it's a difficult dance with the camp drop off.
Sure.
Hard
Yes.
to get there in time. But how early would you be willing to go?
The earlier the better. I mean, 7 a.m. practice would be ideal. Wrap up practice at 9, wrap up interviews 10. You get ample work done before the show at 2. Yeah, it's great.
Do you
What
remember
about a night practice? I mean, they got to play at night sometime. They got to play primetime games. We're going to get a 9 p.m. practice?
I covered the Giants in 2010. They had 5 p.m. practices that year. 2011, 5 p.m. practices that year. That was tough.
It sounds classy, though.
They actually won the Super Bowl that year, so it worked out well. Yeah,
And then they didn't do it again?
it was the lockout year. So I think it was an abbreviated
What does
camp.
that have to do with it?
It was an abbreviated camp. I actually don't know if I stopped covering the team, so
okay.
I don't know if they continued it or not. But they had those night practices, so you'd have to write quickly right after practice. There was no post game show back then or post practice show.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into it. First day in pads. And we were talking about this. I don't want to. This is going to be a silly thing to say, as I expect you to now listen to the entire show. But for the first day in pads, it's like I was hoping for a little bit more, like some more fireworks. I don't know.
There was the moment right before the threes took the field in the final team period. Nick Sirianni's holding the bullhorn. He's holding the megaphone, and he goes, "This is not live. This is not live. This is not." He just said it over and over and over, so the defense heard him. Because typically, when you see the full pads, the threes they will go full scrimmage. They will go tackle to the ground.
Yeah.
Nick Sirianni was very adamant that there was not going to be tackling to the ground here today.
Because he knows what we know. These threes are too good. You can't be risking injury with those guys. Maybe the second team offense, but the threes can't be doing that. All right, let's get into it, Zack.
Yeah.
Let's start with the injuries because there were a couple significant developments today. Take us through who was not on the field.
Yeah, so the 2 new injuries were Zach Baun with a back contusion and then Nolan Smith with a concussion.
Weird.
Weird?
Yeah. Concussion, like that's tough. They weren't even practicing hard yesterday. We talked about how he was kind of going like half speed in the defensive line, O-line one-on-ones. Tough to.
You thought it was his arm, it was his head. Yeah. So those were 2 notable new injuries, and obviously 2 key players on the team. Drew Mukuba remains out with a shoulder injury, and as Vic Fangio said before practice, you can't replace time on the field, right? Devontae Smith remains out with back tightness. Danny Gray remains out with a finger injury. Limited. Jihaad Campbell was listed as limited. It didn't appear that he was limited based on the way he was practicing out there. Jalen Carter limited with a shoulder injury. He was limited. He wasn't really out there during team drills. Cam Jurgens back injury limited. that was accurate. Smile Mondin, limited with the illness, he was out there, but
Yeah.
I don't know what his full allotment would have been otherwise.
All right, so a few downstream effects of those injuries. Let's start with Zach Baun.
Yep.
Because with Zach Baun out, that meant that Jihaad Campbell got even more work with the ones today. And that's going to bring us to our Shady Rays Future is Bright segment, baby. We're going to talk about Jihaad Campbell. What did he do today, Fran?
He got additional reps with the ones. We saw that yesterday as well. We saw a little bit of it on Saturday. But to me, the biggest the new revelation that we got with Jihaad Campbell was, and it started with the twos, where he was out there with Smile Mondin, and he was calling the defense for the first time, where he was turning and setting the defense up as the Mike linebacker. And I turned to Zack. I was like, "Hey, like Campbell's doing this for the first time."
I felt honored actually that he said something.
Bo wasn't there, so I know.
I'm like,
No, but
like in the club, yeah.
But what was most notable then was that it was I believe a session later, the next period later, he was working with the ones with Jeremiah Trotter Jr. and he still was calling the defense. And I thought that was very interesting, just trying to again throw a little bit more at the rookie every single day.
It does seem, I mean, every single day there is something a little bit more that he's tasked with doing. And I'm still waiting for the day when he is on the field next to Zach Baun, because that is like, you think about what Vic Fangio can do with those guys together. It's really exciting. But this was a day where like they did a lot of mixing and matching with the linebackers.
Yep.
Like there were times when it would look like the threes were the linebackers with the ones. As you said, Jihaad Campbell was working with the twos. He took a couple reps with the threes at one point, but he spent a lot of time with the ones. And he continues to look the part. He made a really nice play on Dallas Goedert in the flat today. There was one play early where it looked like he was a little too handsy with Goedert going downfield, that he might have been flagged. But I mean, athletically, as you would expect, he's a first-round linebacker. But I mean, he absolutely looks the part there.
Yeah, and the thing is, and we've discussed this in previous years, linebacker's not a position that typically flashes in practice, right? Yeah. But you can tell when he's on the field. He looks different, and we've said that from the first day he was out there. But he looks different, and I'm with you guys. That was one of my big takeaways from practice. We have like a 45-second video up on Instagram, YouTube Shorts, and that's one of the things I talked about was the way Jihaad Campbell just makes his presence felt during practice.
And one drill that we did get to see today was the linebackers against the running backs, the linebackers pass rushing and the running backs pass protecting. And as you would hope, given the book on him, Jihaad Campbell dominated this drill. First rep made mincemeat out of Will Shipley, which is like a guy who actually is going to have to be on the field in that capacity. Was good. Beat up on the rookies as well. And you would want him to dominate those reps, but he did.
No reps against Saquon or Dylan?
I don't believe so.
Okay. Still, but good sign,
but yes.
Certainly. Vic Fangio was asked about Jihaad Campbell and what he had seen from him so far in camp. Kind of tempered expectations. Said he's doing a little bit better every day. But the big thing was how important it is. Number one thing for especially that position, the ability to recognize like run pass. And I think that is the biggest area of growth that you want to see with Jihaad Campbell. We've talked about how in the pass game he's done a really good job or it seems he's done a really good job of kind of pattern matching and being where he needs to be. That's like a second stage, tertiary stage of the down. The more important part for most linebackers is, all right, like the key and diagnosability of, is it a run, is it a pass, that first step, like making sure that you're in position. So those are two different things, and I think that is an area where he still needs to continue to grow.
Is there any ceiling to, or do you expect him week one to just be on the field every down?
As we sit here, if we were going to like split turkeys up, the majority of my turkeys would be that he would be an every down player for the Eagles by the time we get to week one. I think that it seems like it's trending that way. You made the point that they continue to give him more and more. I mean, we're a week into camp, and he's getting some pretty substantial work with the ones. Today Zach Baun's out. What does that look like if Baun's in there? That's fair, but to me, it's trending that way.
Yeah, Trot Jr. isn't giving him the job, right? Trot Jr. is putting up a fight. But I'm with you in terms of like I'm expecting Jihaad Campbell to be there week one playing as much as they're willing to let him play. I actually think an interesting question, and this is so far down the line, is what happens when Nakobe Dean's ready to return? Like,
Yeah.
is there even a role for Dean, or is Campbell too valuable out there that those are your two backers?
Do you think that they will treat Campbell as they treat the rest of the penned-in starters in the preseason?
No, I think they'll play him, number one, because Vic Fangio likes to play those defensive players, and because I don't think they'll have him as a penned-in starter until maybe like that third preseason game. I think we could see a situation where that game against the Jets, he's not in uniform, and that's like your big giveaway.
Hearing Vic Fangio talk about him today,
Yep.
I could like envision in my mind like Vic Fangio standing on the table and saying like reps are important for Jihaad Campbell.
Yes.
Like these are important opportunities for him to be able to get better in that mental processing, like key and diagnose phase, at the snap of the ball, and getting those in preseason would be very valuable.
All right, there you have it. Your Future is Bright segment, thanks to our good friends at Shady Rays. Okay, let's stick on Vic Fangio, because every time Vic Fangio speaks, it moves the needle news-wise and tells us a little bit more about guys. And let's start with Adoree Jackson, because today it did flip back to Kelee Ringo being the primary guy. And so we talked about, let's see if it is, yesterday was more of Adoree's day. Let's see if today is more of Keelee's day, and it was. So we back off a little bit of the Adoree Jackson love from yesterday. And we do so also in part because of the way that Vic Fangio talked about him, right, Zach?
Really interesting.
Yeah, it was very interesting.
Not a lot of gas.
No, and he said it's time for this is Jackson's chance to show who he is or who he isn't. He referenced how the two teams in the past didn't keep him,
Right.
And he also said that he didn't watch any tape of him. That was a Howie decision.
Howie wanted him, and when Howie wants a guy, he's going to get him, and he had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, it was like basically, just absolved any responsibility for Adoree Jackson.
This one is not on me.
It's like the opposite of Zach Baun last year, where he was like, I saw a minute of Zach Baun's film, and I'm like, this guy's the inside backer. He's like, I didn't even watch
Howie
the
brought
film.
him to me. He thinks like here's a special teams guy. No, this is an all-pro linebacker. What are you talking about?
Yeah, Adoree Jackson. He's like, I didn't even look at the film. Yeah, he said he had a good day.
I've
yesterday.
been familiar with him.
Yeah,
I watched him when he was coming out of college.
It's interesting because based on as we discussed yesterday, based on the way practice had gone, we thought Adoree was pushing for it, and he did admit Adoree had a good practice yesterday, but I thought there was going to be kind of more praise for the veteran and more pushing for Kelee Ringo. And with Kelee Ringo, he basically said this is his first chance to really compete for a job, which goes to show you last year he wasn't competing for the job. I thought he was.
Yeah,
that's
I
wrong.
think I'm not so sure that that's exactly true.
But I didn't walk away from that press conference thinking like, man, they really want Adoree to be the starter here.
Yeah.
Well, and if you think about it, I mean, it is true that Adoree Jackson, who has been a good cornerback before and is a real veteran, like he should look better right now than Kelee Ringo does. But yeah, it's about how you want to invest. What else did Vic say that was interesting, Zach?
Yeah, Moro Ojomo, he didn't think the size would be an issue for Moro. He said I asked about Quinyon Mitchell's ball skills.
That's a good question.
Thank you, and he said that he said that could come with time. And he can get better at it, and like any little improvement he has, it's going to be beneficial.
He said it's kind of mostly you have it or you don't, but he's terrible at it. So if he could get a little bit better, that'd be great.
And the way he at the end he was like any area where he can improve, he's going to do it because of the way he works.
Yeah.
So he brought it back, got it back on.
And he said the interception he made yesterday, he probably wouldn't have made yesterday. Last year. Although, I mean, that was a very easy interception yesterday. Once he was in the position to make it, but yes.
Yeah, no, I actually thought that, and again, we don't get to watch replays of these. In the past, the Eagles have actually put up clips. They haven't put up clips this year. I thought it was a good adjustment on the ball when I was watching it. But yeah, I hear what you're saying. And then elsewhere, he was talking about he talked about Dick Allen. Right, his favorite player growing up. He had the Dick Allen jersey, and then he said that he doesn't put as much stock into one-on-ones. Which surprised me a bit because I thought a very football guy thing is the one-on-ones.
It came off the question about Jihaad Campbell in the one-on-ones
Oh,
yesterday,
okay,
though.
true.
So I wonder if he was like attaching it to
Linebacker,
that,
running back,
the
one-on-ones.
linebacker, because he was asked about Campbell.
I'm
not
sorry,
doing
linebacker,
well.
tight end. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
and
also, I mean, we love one-on-ones because it is our chance to isolate these things.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're the coach, I mean, you get to watch the cut up of every rep of practice.
Yes.
Like, you know, so one-on-ones maybe mean a little bit less to you then. But
And we talked about this yesterday too. In that scheme, it means less than in you know the most other defenses.
He also said nobody has really popped in that edge rusher battle. But today, Zach, Josh Uche was the one who got the reps with the ones replacing Nolan Smith.
Yeah, I was impressed with Josh Uche today. He had a real nice inside move that I think was against Kennard with the second team, if memory serves.
Yes, I remember the play.
Yeah. But then he also had one against the first team, I believe, as well from the left side when he.
We were talking about that one where he sped around the edge, and we couldn't tell if he just beat Darian Kennard or if it was like a missed assignment.
They purposely like left him unblocked because there was pressure from the other side, that kind of thing.
But Lane Johnson gassed him up a bit during the spring, and he is. Look, this is a guy who's been a double-digit sack player, and so he's someone else who he took advantage of increased reps today with Nolan Smith out.
Am I right in that? I mean, for the most part, Uche has been on the left and Ojolari has been on the right, so it might have been more just left-right as opposed to this guy over this guy.
I think so.
Agree. I think that's exactly what it was. I think that he was the Nolan Smith replacement for that reason.
Nolan Smith, just to take a second, I talked about this with Anthony this morning. I mean, listen, a concussion is a concussion. It's hard to avoid. You get it. But we've talked about this before. Like, Nolan Smith is awesome, and what his superpower is like the violence that he plays with. And you do have to wonder, like, his body is a little bit slighter than the normal edge rusher. Can he hold up over the course of a full season playing that style? And you don't want him to not play that style because then he's not going to be as good of a player. It is a question that I think probably Howie Roseman, has on his mind as he puts his head down to bed at night.
You think so?
You don't?
No, it's a good question. I wonder if it's a concern for Howie or not. That like when you framed it that way, I think about it like is Howie worried about his edge rush depth based on the framing of the question, and it's Nolan, he was banged up his senior year at Georgia. He's been banged up in the past. He's coming off surgery, so that's a valid point, and he's so important to this team. Like, he's the clear number one edge rusher.
Yes.
So no, that's a good point.
Okay.
Also with Vic, he said Sidney Brown, really didn't have a summer last year or a spring, so he's making some strides with Mukuba. Like I said, he needs Mukuba to be out on the field. He said all time you're missing on the field is valuable. So those were two guys that came up as well.
Yeah, I think you could make the case that, like, if anybody on the defense was going to get a 2-week injury or something like that, like, Mukuba would have been the one that they least wanted that to happen to.
That's a good point.
Right? Because he needs that time.
I still think acquiring a safety is not out of the question here.
Is it Justin Simmons or bust, or you think like they could?
It's a good question because I haven't studied the trade market. 2 years ago I didn't know, or I'm sorry, 3 years ago now I didn't know C.J. Gardner-Johnson was available.
Right.
I don't think the league did either. Right. And it could be something like that, but I have a hard time if Mukuba misses prolonged time here. I have a hard time believing they're going to think it's okay with Sidney Brown and then Mukuba coming in, late in the summer.
But then the real question is it easier to find a replacement level safety, or is it easier to find a slot and
Great question.
Play Cooper DeJean at safety?
Awesome question.
Or do they need to find a slot, or is Mac McWilliams the slot?
Right.
Another great question. Yeah.
I think if right now, if they were in a position where Mukuba was not ready to play, I kind of think it would be more likely to be DeJean at safety and Mac McWilliams on the field than Sidney Brown at safety and Cooper on the field.
Which isn't the worst thing. I mean, I would like Cooper DeJean at safety. I think.
But then the long-term thing is, I mean, Makuba's a second-round pick. He's going to get on the field at some point, right?
Yeah.
Like, is he just eventually replacing Reed Blankenship, or is Cooper going back to the Knicks? I mean, you can keep bouncing him around.
Sure.
He's good enough to do it. But, I mean, right now he's probably their best safety, their best nickel, and their second-best outside corner. Where do you play him?
Yeah. And according to the players, he's the 60th best player in the NFL, which I thought was a
Kinda
little
wild.
That was pretty
Yeah.
crazy.
I was really surprised to see that. I mean, Jordan Mailata was 69, and Cooper DeJean was 60. And
What are you laughing at about that?
about what?
Jordan Mailata at 69. You had a little bit of a giggle there. Just curious.
No, I mean,
Okay.
yeah, that's well because it's Landon Dickerson's number.
Oh,
so like
got it.
he's actually number 68. So
Yeah,
it
that's
would
right.
it would make more sense if he wore 68
sure.
or if he was 68. Like
Sure, yeah.
69, Landon's probably like should be me there. But no, so Jordan Mailata is 69, and you have Cooper DeJean at 60. I think Jordan Mailata is a better football player.
I honestly believe you cannot overstate the power to other NFL players of a white cornerback.
I don't think it's that.
I think that plays a real factor.
You think other NFL players are rating him high because he's a white cornerback?
In part, yes.
I think it's the podcast, personally.
Yeah, and it's probably
He was awesome last year.
He was.
When was that voting done? Was it done during the?
It's usually done early in the offseason.
So, yeah,
or
so
late in the honestly, or late in the season.
So if it's late in the season, that's a different question. If it's early in the offseason, because I do think it's late in the season. I was saying early in the offseason, he just had the pick 6 in the Super Bowl. Players are typically watching the Super Bowl. Fletcher Cox doesn't.
Yeah, but they don't do it, because they do it when they're in the locker room.
But they do it when they're in the locker room. Yeah. Yeah, that really surprised. That really surprised
way
me.
high.
Yeah, maybe it was like right after the Ravens game, and the hit on Derrick Henry was on. Because they all have ESPN and NFL Network on in the locker room, so perhaps it was that.
Although one of us felt that hit was maybe like overrated. That wasn't that really impressive of a play.
It wasn't that the hit was the play. Yeah, it was fine. It was a great play. It wasn't like the coolest play I've ever seen.
It's up there.
It's in the book. It's in the book.
Yeah, but I mean, so is Andre Sam twice.
Once. Once. I took out the second reference.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Quick break. Coming back, I will tell you what my number one takeaway from camp so far is. That's coming up right after this.
Tease.
TrueMark Financial Credit Union, baby. I mean, title sponsor. You know we love them. Here's what you need to know. Summer's here, which means the kids are out and about, hanging with friends, maybe even picking up a summer job. It's the perfect time to set them up with something that teaches real-world money skills and gives them a little freedom. The Greenlight debit card and money app. That's right. This year, planning ahead, using my TrueMark Financial Credit Union debit card that earns rewards every time I swipe my card and choose credit on purchases, whether it's a new planner, headphones, or just some much-needed everyday essentials. You're earning points. TrueMark Financial Credit Union. If you are a TrueMark Financial Credit Union member, be sure to check out your debit card benefits before you hit the stores or start shopping online. If you're not a member yet, now is a great time to join. Just stop by one of TrueMark Financial's 24 branches or visit TrueMark.com. That's TrueMark.com to open an account. TrueMark Financial Credit Union is federally insured by the NCUA. All right, Fran, here's an impression of me from yesterday.
Okay.
That's me walking into my house, sweating like a pig because it is feeling like a sauna in there.
Yeah, I mean, you know how it is. This time of year, this Philly heat, it's no joke.
So, what do I do? Do I go jump in a lake? It's not going to happen. So, I just got a bunch of ice, held it, rubbed it on my face, stuffed it down my shirt, stuffed it down my pants. Only way I could think to cool down.
I mean, stop being the stereotypical dad, though. Turn on the AC. It's time to fire that thing up.
I don't want to I want to waste money, be energy efficient.
Well, look, instead of icing yourself out or jumping into a lake, you could just check out Pico's energy-saving rebates. They've got deals on Energy Star cooling equipment that actually work and cut down on your bills.
So, no more ice down my pants?
No, you could skip the ice, save the ice, and you throw in my drinks when I come over.
The same ice?
No, we'll change the ice up.
Okay, fine. That's what's up.
All right, well, just head over to pico.com/ways to save. They've got tips for everything. Heating, cooling, lighting, you name it.
All right, we are 8 days away from the Ospreys next Wednesday evening at the Hard Rock Cafe. Hope everybody can come. And I need to put a call out to the sickos. I need some suggestions for nominees for Zach's Dove Bird of the Year, Fran's Dove Bird of the Year, and my Dove Bird of the Year. I can't remember all the inside jokes that we've had over the past year. Please let me know. And also the award for Best Short-Lived Storyline. This is one, I believe the defending champion here, last year's winner was that Miles Jack and Zach Cunningham was just like when the Eagles signed Ndamukong Suh and Linval Joseph. So, we're talking about things like that. Let me know what comes to mind from the past Eagles season for a short-lived storyline and also our 3 Dove Birds. Need the call out. Need a little help.
Sure. Yeah. I'm trying to think. I always enjoy the short-lived storyline one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
My favorite one in my Ospreys history was the Kevin Patullo head coach. He was head coach for 36 hours, right? That was a good one. Yeah, he did the press conference, and yeah.
Yeah, we don't talk about that enough as he's the offensive coordinator. He's a former interim head coach.
I think they said acting head coach.
Acting head coach,
he ran a Friday meeting.
We forgot about that.
Yeah.
It's an important part of his story.
He'll always have that.
Okay. All right, let's get to our Doodad Dental Bright Smiles, which is going to go to somebody who deserves the spotlight after their performance today. I'm going to go off the board here. We talked about him on Saturday. The Bright Smile, Doodad Dental Group. Keep an eye on down the roster wide receiver Elijah Cooks. He made another big play today, Zach.
You're right. A pass from Tanner McKee. And
a lot of red zone work today.
Red zone heavy day. And it was back of the end zone. He made a contested catch. And this is someone, he's 6'4", 215. He looks bigger out there to the point that the person I was standing next to, a really good reporter, EJ Smith, EJ's outstanding. Outstanding. EJ says, is that Johnny Wilson, right? Or
he's outstanding, and you're throwing him under the bus.
No. And I bring that up because Johnny Wilson, when you see Johnny Wilson, it's the big bot, 6'7".
Yeah.
So I bring that up like.
EJ's going to need a chance to defend himself here.
No, all right. I meant that like not in a bad way. Where it was from a distance. The numbers. EJ, I was trying to make a point about Elijah Cooks' size. Okay,
picking fights here.
No, I'm not picking fights. I'm trying to make a point
with EJ.
Trying to make a point about Elijah Cooks' size. Okay, that like it's you can. It's not out of the question to think Johnny Wilson, right? I thought the other day when he made a catch, is that a tight end? He is big. He's a big-bodied wide receiver. So Elijah Cooks was with Jacksonville the past 2 years. And he's shown up now the past 3 days. You mentioned Saturday. Yesterday, he had that catch to end practice from Kyle McCord that you mentioned. Today, the catch from McKee. So, definitely worthy of the Bright Smile Award.
Second day in a row that he made a, both feet in, toe touch grab along the sideline. This one was along the end line, obviously in the back of the end zone. Also, the second day in a row that he went one-on-one with Adoree Jackson in one-on-ones. And yesterday it was the sideline back shoulder fade. Today it was he beat him inside on a slant route, and that was how they ended the drill. Oh, let's get Cooks and Jackson one more time. And he beat the veteran corner.
I want to make clear, that was not at all a shot at EJ. I was like...
We all heard it. I mean...
EJ, I love you, man. You're amazing. That was not a shot at EJ at all. That was meant to. I was trying.
EJ will not be nominated for Zach's Dove Bird of the Year.
I was trying to point out how big Elijah Cooks is. That's all I was trying to do.
Maybe it's a
by saying that EJ couldn't. EJ thought he was Johnny Wilson.
No, it's you do that a lot. You're jotting down the number. You do that a lot.
EJ's in the chat. He says, "You think you know a guy?"
No. I'm so sorry,
EJ. You got to come on the show and defend yourself.
EJ, that's not at all what it was.
Gonna powerbomb him through a table or something.
No, first off, we talked for years about the numbers, okay, and how they're hard to read. EJ, you're great. You're terrific. Okay.
I don't know.
There was not a shot whatsoever. I was trying to reinforce that Elijah Cooks is a big-bodied wide receiver. That's
awful
all.
Announcing is going to be all over this.
And he wears the 86.
Big rivalry in the Eagles beat court.
He wears the 86. So you think you associate Zach Ertz with 86?
Let's be serious about Elijah Cooks for a second.
Something just dripped.
Yeah, the venom from EJ. Do you think Elijah Cooks has a chance to make this team?
Well, we've talked about how unsettled wide receivers are. And so beyond the top 3, it's not a fortified position. So, yes, he has a chance. Now, we should also add Terrace Marshall left practice with an injury today.
Yeah.
We don't know the extent of the injury, but he's someone who was kind of in that depth mix.
And he had before he left, today was his best day since the first day.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
McKee had found him a couple times.
Yep.
Anaya Smith has been working with the ones. Johnny Wilson's been mixing in there. But yeah, Elijah Cooks, I mean, unless they add someone, and there can always be a waiver wire position, number 4, number 5, potentially number 6. Special teams will factor into it. But I got to think Elijah Cooks' body can help on special teams as well.
He's also fast, Elijah Cooks, deceptively so. As I think earlier in practice he was running a route, and listen, I respect Tim McManus, but Tim McManus saw him running and he said, "Is that Usain Bolt?" And I said, "No, that's just Elijah Cooks."
I just texted EJ. I feel so bad. It was not the way that was interpreted was not at all the way it was intended at all. I promise you.
All right, that'll do it for the bright smile, courtesy of our good friends at Doodad Dental Group. They're going to be getting some dental work when EJ punches out Zack's teeth. All right, let's get into some of the nitty gritty stuff. Fran, take us through some of the fun, detailed notes that you have.
Let's go wide receiver DB one-on-ones.
Okay.
All right, so we once again had the A.J.
I didn't
Brown.
get to see. I was watching the running backs and linebackers. So
Yeah,
I'm very curious.
I want to get some of the notes there too. All right, so you had A.J. Brown going up against Quinyon Mitchell for 2 reps again. A.J. won on a hitch route, so got the catch on the first rep. Later, he ran a vertical route against Quinyon Mitchell. This one, over the shoulder, would have been a great grab, which we've seen A.J. make before, but Quinyon was able to contest this one enough that it was able to fall incomplete. So one goes both ways there in that matchup. Anaya Smith had a couple of nice routes against Cooper DeJean in the slot. Yeah, he ran a nice corner route where he kind of threw a little hezzy step there at the top of the route. Was able to separate. Then he won on a slant route in their second rep. So honestly, Anais had 2 catches against DeJean yesterday as well. So something else to monitor. Kelee Ringo. 2 really nice reps against Terrace Marshall in this drill. So first one, he was all over, smothered a hitch route from Terrace Marshall. Marshall, one of the big reasons why he has not stuck really in the NFL, his route running is not great. And so Kelee was all over this hitch route, got a PBU. And then Marshall tried to run a double move in the second rep. It was like a stutter go, and Kelee was all over. Read it perfectly. Now, this is like one of the issues with Kelee is that he was in perfect position for an interception on this one. Very similar to the throw where Quinyon picked it off yesterday. And AJ, it was a similar kind of ball, and it just goes right through his hands. It wasn't like a horrific drop, but it was like, man, like I'd love for you to come up with that one. And so that was that
one where he's trying to high point it. Or
no, this one it was a little bit where he had to like speed up, and he would have been able to breadbasket it, and it just again was able to fall down to the grass. So so no dice there, but either way, like both of them were really nice reads by Kelee, so that both were good reps. I mentioned the Elijah Cooks, Adoree Jackson snap at the very end. The other one, and this guy has flashed a little bit. We're talking like deep down the depth chart. Brandon Johnson, PBU against Taylor Morin in the slot. He's
Is that a Cam Crush candidate? Bo's smiling right now.
Oh!
Wow. Jeez. Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
Yeah, it's wow.
I'm so happy to hear that.
So I play this game.
I was waiting the whole thing to tell me how Brandon Johnson did in one-on-ones.
Oh, wow.
Wow. All right, well, now that I know this, hold on. Let's go back through it and see if there's anything
I
else
saw
here.
that smile, and
Yeah, I mean, he could
I do
barely
this game
contain
as you're looking this up.
The heart wants what the heart wants. You saw the smile.
I do this game with my kids where, you know, like I'll mention, you know, the girls I'll mention the girls in Reed's class, and like if he laughs. Sorry, okay. All right, forget it.
And he laughs.
Then you know.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Anyways. All right, go on.
He did have a PBU on an out and up late as well against Now, I think it was Giles Jackson.
Yeah.
It might have been Anaya Smith. They do kind of look alike. It was Giles Jackson.
Giles Jackson did get one-on-ones 2 days ago.
Okay, yeah, it was an out and up route.
By the way, if our friend Shio Kapati is listening to this, he would say, you guys got to tell the audience who Brandon Johnson is, okay? Brandon Johnson is an undrafted rookie from Oregon, 5'10", 185. And yeah, so that's he
transferred from Duke.
Yeah,
played 1 year at Oregon.
Duke. Exactly.
He works exclusively in the nickel right now, and he doesn't get every rep because AJ Woods is there as well,
right?
Who also has looked good.
Not JT Woods, AJ.
Not
Woods.
JT Woods.
Yes. Yeah. Wow. I didn't see that coming.
It's a different level. This is Brandon Johnson is. Let's just call it. Brandon Johnson is my man.
Wow.
Brandon Johnson is
July
the July 29th.
Wow, already?
You know what? I can't be waiting around anymore. That's my guy. And it's not, he's not going to make the roster, probably. This is a guy who's, you're hoping gets on the practice squad.
Okay.
But one thing that I see from Brandon Johnson is you can tell sometimes when the guy knows where everybody else is supposed to be. He's like reading the plays very well. You can see him follow guys. I think he's a little bit slight. So the big question is, can he hold up physically? But I think he can. I like Brandon Johnson.
Okay, I have to ask because you told me before.
I never in a
Monday,
million years would have thought this.
Yeah, over the weekend, you said like that you were getting moved by this player.
Yeah.
But it was you wanted to see what the pad's on. What was it that caught your eye so early at that position? So
the movement skills.
Yep.
I think he's a very fluid mover. When you're watching the DBs just do individual drills, like how quickly they're moving their hips and who looks like Quinyon Mitchell.
Yeah.
I mean, not the same thing, but like who has that fluidity. He has that. And then like every time in team drills when he is out there, and there were a couple times early where he was covering Devontae Smith in the slot, and the ball didn't go that way. The play wasn't designed to go that way, but he's running with him, and he has his head on a swivel. He's following the play, and he will come off his man very quickly when he knows that the ball's not going there, and then rally to help. He seems a very aware football player to me, and he moves well.
I've
never had a nickel before.
No, Elijah Riley would have been the closest to this.
Yeah.
And honestly, the Elijah Riley,
it's a similar
body type.
That is the level of player that we were talking here.
Yeah, and the body type is very similar because Elijah Riley played primarily safety, but he was a small safety.
Yeah.
Can I read my write-up on Brandon
Yes.
Johnson? Because I did not study him before the draft. I did a quick study of him after the Eagles signed him in undrafted free agency. So Zack, as he mentioned, a fourth-year corner, played for 3 years at Duke before transferring to Oregon for his final season, spent the large majority of his career in the slot, and at 5'9", 179 pounds with 30-inch arms, that's how he projects moving into the NFL as well. He was a 3-star recruit coming out of high school, and traits-wise does not blow you away. The testing was just okay, particularly when given his frame. Even on film, I thought he was quicker than fast. He struggled to recover if he was beaten on crossing routes. His burst to close in a short area was a notch below what you want, ideally. But I thought he read things pretty well, and there wasn't a lot of panic when he was targeted. Usage-wise, Oregon got pretty creative with rotating him to the safety spot and utilizing that versatility that way with all their various disguises. That could be something useful in the Vic Fangio defense, by the way, just an aside. He had 8 career sacks, so he potentially brings value as a blitzer from the slot as well. More of a football player than an athlete, a Josiah Scott-ish type of physical and athletic profile. At best, he turns into a scrappy 5th corner on your depth chart who chips in on special teams. I don't think he has the upside of a starting nickel.
I think that's all right.
Yeah.
Josiah Scott.
I hope listeners and viewers appreciate what you have in Fran.
Wow.
That is incredible. That insight there is spot on. Spot on.
I can't believe that you were so quick to reveal.
Well, I mean, once you hit me between the eyes and I revealed the smile, I can't deny it anymore. There's no sense in drumming up the drama if the cat's already out of the bag.
There was actual moisture seeping from your pores.
But let me ask you, the go waken you don't like Duke. Okay, so because he transferred, he's absolved.
I'm not going to hold that agast the guy.
He's absolved.
Again, it's where my eyes go. Where the heart wants what the heart wants.
Is this the earliest you've ever called it?
I don't know.
We're not even at August
It's got to be
yet.
up there. Yeah, it's not even August 1st.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's like it's like dating someone your first week in college, right? You haven't even. Anyways, go on. Let's go on.
Just on an absolute heater today.
Sorry.
Peter, of course, starts with H. All right. Let's take a quick break, give Zach a chance to cool down, and we'll come back with more. Tell you about our friends at, once the internet loads, Hello Fresh, how are ya? We talk about it. You know it. I've said it before. You're cooking for the family. You can't get all three things, right? You can't get something that's fast. You can't get something that tastes good and that is also reasonably cost, right? Until you lean into HelloFresh. HelloFresh makes it easier to fit quick home-cooked meals into your schedule every week by curating delicious recipes right to your door, like panko-crusted chimichurri barramundi or sun-dried tomato grilled cheese sandos, as well as over 100 seasonal snacks, sides, and treats. This summer, HelloFresh has made it even easier to enjoy delicious, healthy, and homemade quality meals with their new ready-made meals. These heat-and-go HelloFresh meals are chef-crafted, flavorful dishes ready in just 3 minutes so you can dig in and go do summer right. Every HelloFresh meal uses high-quality ingredients, including seasonal fresh produce, proteins that travel from the farm to your doorstep, and are simple with easy-to-follow recipe cards or simple heat 'em and eat 'em options. Choose from 60 recipes every week, including prep and bake and ready-made meals, and plus over 100 plus market items to add on to breakfast, lunch, and more. Make your summer enjoyable and delicious by signing up for HelloFresh at HelloFresh.com/Eagles10FM and get 10 free meals with a free item for life. That's HelloFresh.com/Eagles10FM for 10 free meals and a free item in every box. HelloFresh.com/Eagles10FM. One per box with an active subscription. Free meals are applied as a discount on the first box. New subscribers only. Varies by plan.
Now we'll hear from our friends at Shady Rays, because we all know that moment, the one where you realize you left your favorite pair of sunglasses at the beach, on the roof of your car. Maybe you're in the back of a Lyft. You leave your sunglasses back there. You leave them at a gas station 3 states away. We've all been there. I've been there. I shared the story even just earlier this summer where Francis, we were at Disney World. We're getting off one of the rides. Sunglasses go flying off his head and they shatter on the steps. But look, if you've got Shady Rays, you are covered from this kind of scenario. Whether you lose them or you break them, they've got something that changes the game. These sunglasses from Shady Rays are made for real life. Seriously, good looking, polarized, durable, and not stupidly expensive. And here's the wild part. Again, if you lose or break them, even on day one, Shady Rays will send you a brand new pair. No guilt trip, just replacements. So now you can actually wear those sunglasses without fear on hikes, at concerts, on the boat, at the beach, wherever you want. Shady Rays is eyewear that has your back, and we have teamed up with Shady Rays to bring you an exclusive offer. Head over to shadyrays.com and use the code PHLY for 35% off polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself. The shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people.
And lastly, I will tell you about the sweepstakes that we've got going on from Doodat Dental, the Bright Smile Sweepstakes. PHLY and Doodat Dental Group are teaming up to give you the chance to win a brighter, healthier smile absolutely free with the Doodat Dental Bright Smile Sweepstakes. Each week, we're giving away 1 Philips Teeth Whitening Home Kit to a lucky winner. And at the end of the sweepstakes, 1 grand prize winner will take home an Oral-B IO toothbrush, top-of-the-line tech for your teeth. Entering is easy. Just head to allphly.com/Doodat Dental Group. Fill out the entry form and you're eligible for both prizes. That's it. No purchase necessary, but don't wait too long. The sweepstakes runs now through August 29th. Weekly winners will be selected throughout the sweepstakes, and the grand prize announcement will come at the end of the contest period. So if you want a whiter smile and a cleaner mouth without spending a dime, head to allphly.com/Doodat Dental Group and enter the Doodat Dental Bright Smile Sweepstakes today. Full sweepstakes rules and eligibility can be found at allphly.com/Doodat Dental Group. Must be 18 or older to enter. Terms and conditions apply. All right. You good?
I've been good, yeah.
All right. Yeah. Okay. You have more
No, that was the. I mean, we ended with a bang with the Brandon Johnson revelation.
Oh, I know, that's right.
Yeah.
You need a cigarette. Yeah, I mean, it was like you called me out of my crush before I was ready to even send an instant message to the girl.
It's like you got caught at a Coldplay concert.
Yeah. Well, no, I haven't even gotten that far yet with B.J. But that's okay. I'm excited.
So this is on brand to go from Brandon Johnson to a guy who stood out for me today, Saquon Barkley.
That's about right.
Saquon had a little one-handed catch.
One-handed grab.
The pass was behind him, pulled it down, and you saw more running today.
Yeah.
And I mean, breaking news: he's going to be on my 53 this year. He's a good player.
Okay.
But yeah, so I feel like sometimes by nature of this, we always talk about the down the depth chart guys, but today was really the first day that like Saquon was in my notes. And that catch was just an athletic play there. And then they ran the ball well in the red zone. It's fair to say that at this juncture, the offensive line, and this is typically the case, is better at run blocking than pass blocking, right? I mean, they were moving the defensive line back. Mm-hmm. You know, I was keying in on Moro Ojomo on one play, and he got moved off the line of scrimmage in the run blocking, where we know he's been penetrated.
Yeah.
And I should also add, Jeff Stoutland said that today was Tyler Steen's best day as well.
Fran and I were also talking about that with the second team offensive line, which we talked about yesterday, has been a little bit underwhelming. But part of it, maybe, is that a lot of those guys are just better run blockers than pass blockers. And so you saw them move the ball a little bit more today when they were running the ball.
And that's typically the case, right? Like that, offensive linemen prefer run blocking. You go forward instead of going back.
Yeah. On the one-on-ones between the running backs and linebackers, Jihaad Campbell was the big standout there.
Okay.
Looked good in that capacity. Smile Mondon looked pretty good as well. Had a couple wins, and one of them against Ben Van Sumeren, which is like Ben Van Sumeren's got to make those blocks. What else do I have here? I'm not going to take you through every single one, but
what running back stood out?
Montrel Johnson wasn't bad. He probably did the best of the three guys who had to go up against Jihaad Campbell.
Got it.
And then one thing I will say, Jeremiah Trotter Jr. not given a ton of juice as a rusher in these. In 2 reps that were a little bit underwhelming, although he did have a nice spin move on Montrel Johnson.
Has Shipley gotten better in this area?
I think he's fine.
Okay.
I think he's a lose slowly kind of guy.
That's good. That's a good way of putting it.
Well, was that you or Cosell who came up with that?
That's a Mayock.
It's a Mayock.
Who was at practice today?
Yeah, who was at practice today?
Yeah.
Yep.
At one point, I wanted to say what's up to Fran, and I saw him talking to Mayock. I mean, Fran's a big deal with these practices. I think people should know that. Like, you get like NFL dignitaries. They see Fran, they get excited.
I mean, no doubt about it.
But Montrel Johnson, he's listed at 5'11", 212. He looks bigger out there. Like he looks like a big-bodied back.
I would say I would guess that he's bigger than that. Yeah. That's a good point.
Some random depth chart notes. Miles Hinton got some reps with the 2s today at left tackle. Yesterday, Kennard had a couple reps at guard. He was back at right tackle today. Trevor Keegan continues to work at both center and left guard. But Hinton, clearly of the 3 rookie offensive linemen, is the one who has had the best start to camp.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch Hinton in the preseason. He's a guy that I would say, like coming out of camp and going into those games, I'm excited to see what that film looks like for Miles Hinton because of if you want to throw Holland Pierce in there, of the 4 rookies, he's the guy I'm most excited about. You were talking about some.
Wait, real quick on Hinton. He also seemed to be the one that Stoutland was most excited about.
Yeah,
Stoutland.
Without saying it, you can,
exactly because and just as a giveaway, Stoutland often talks about how a player needs a certain critical factor, right? And you have to close your eyes and get excited about the player, right? He said Miles Hinton has multiple critical factors, right? And so that was clearly, we've seen the excitement in the draft room from the Eagles behind the scenes footage. Miles Hinton's definitely a player that I think Stoutland is high on.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what that film looks like with him. Another young player who got some elevated reps, Ty Robinson.
I was just going to say,
he got some run with the 1s today.
Yes.
As they were rotating players through,
and looked pretty good.
Yeah,
had a bat down.
Yep, had a knockdown on the line of scrimmage. Yep.
Gabe Hall blew up a running play with Matt Pryor blocking him.
Yep.
Spoke to Ty Robinson after practice, and he said the big adjustment for him is going up against guys like Landon Dickerson, Jordan Mailata. He doesn't see that in college. He felt like he was like the biggest, strongest guy in college, and it's a little different in the NFL.
All right, can I tell you let's get to the super chat first from Polar Jam, who says, full pads really bringing out the best of the pod today.
Oh, thank you, Polar Jam.
I saw Chase Daniel Plainview, Zack said he met his wife the first week of college. He didn't realize he made a big mistake.
It's not a mistake.
Divorce papers
it's not a mistake. It's just you don't meet everybody your first weekend in college. So but sometimes, like Brennan Johnson, the heart wants what the heart wants, and I respect that. There's people who go to college and they're still with their high school sweethearts, and it's wonderful. So there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just Aziz Ansari has a whole bit on this as well. But yeah, I think that
I've never seen that bit.
You've never seen it?
Not that one.
Oh, okay.
It's a good one.
So ideally, how many people should you date before you find?
Well, look, I mean, it's not for me to say. It's when the time's right, when the person's right. That's what it is. For me, I didn't meet the person I was ready to marry until I was 27. But for some people, you met your wife in college. So yeah, it's when the time's right.
Okay. When did you meet your wife, Fran?
College. Yeah, Temple.
Jeez, we really dropped the ball.
Yeah.
You didn't drop the ball at all. You didn't drop the ball at all. You avoided the 20s dating life. I back when it was Bo Shield and me, we were talking about this. Like I was the only one of the three of us who experienced the 20s dating life, the circuit you have to go on, if you will. Yeah. Yeah.
Did you have your own circuit where you would take a date to the same place?
Yeah. Like the first date place was always the same. Okay. Second date place was typically the same.
Okay.
Yeah. But like the bartender at the first date place, like he would pick up on it, right? He would know if it didn't work out, And
oh, you're back.
I gotta say, like I was. I'm sorry. I don't know why I do this to myself.
Well, we're here.
My percentage for the second date, for landing the second dates was pretty good. Okay. It was the percentage for landing the third date wasn't as good.
Why do you think that was?
If I knew the answer to that, I would have rectified it back then, right? But bottom line, it worked out great for me. I mean, I married.
That's right.
I married the best woman I could. So, yeah.
No, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I tell you my number one takeaway from camp so far?
Please.
The way that things have been run.
Okay.
Too much white people music.
Very different from years past. I would agree with you here.
I mean, we got the first day in pads today. It's sweltering hot, and we've got Fast Car playing.
Yes.
What are we doing? We've got Hell's Bells. We've got Welcome to the Jungle. We got the Rocky theme. Like, okay, you mix it in every now and then. It is getting ridiculous. Fast Car on the first day of pads?
The first day of practice, I wondered. I said, "Oh, I wonder who's got the aux today." But it has been a resounding theme throughout. I agree with this take.
The first practice after Ozzy Osbourne died, there's a couple Ozzy Osbourne songs. Yep. Okay, you want to give a little nod? That's fine. It has gone on far too long. Listen, I'm a white guy. I don't mind the white guy music, but for the football practice, what are we doing?
There was even there was the one track that played. It was. It's the one song. There was the Family Guy bit where it plays during every Vietnam War scene in every movie. What's the name of the song? Oh my gosh! The chat can help me out here.
Okay.
Hold on. But yes, I agree. Overall, this has been it's a little different.
It's a
vibe
market
than normal.
difference.
Yes.
You think this is Nick Sirianni's doing? Like I won the Super Bowl, now I get to be in charge of something else?
Well, I don't know if this is who decides it, but Nick has a new assistant to the head coach this year, Cole Peterson.
Oh, God! Thank God for you, Zack.
But so
I think you have it dead on, just like you had the Devontae Smith thing.
But so I mean, typically, well, I should say typically in the past under Chip, the assistant to the head coach would pick out the music. Under Doug, that was the case. I don't know who does it with Nick, but he does have a new assistant to the head coach this year. That's Cole Peterson.
By the way, it was not only Fast Car. I see somebody with a comment. It was not even Tracy Chapman's version. It was a white guy version.
Fortunate Son is the song, by the way.
What are you doing playing Fortunate Son in the middle of football practice?
Yeah, it was. What
are we doing?
Great job by the chat.
I have no contribution to this conversation other than the speakers this year have an upgrade. They are loud to the point that
and they have piped in the
crowd
the
noise.
Fake crowd noise, which I don't remember them doing.
No, they're doing that more.
Yeah.
But the Eagles even put signs up next to the speakers for those who are at practice. Don't get too close to the speakers, right? Because of how loud they are. And the location of the speakers is different this year than they've been in past years too. So they are laying it on thick with the speakers.
Yeah, I mean,
you can't hear the person next to you sometimes.
It's like, okay, guys, one play here, 2-point conversion to win the game, ones against ones. Here comes Cotton Eye Joe.
Maybe the speaker,
what are we doing?
The speaker volume could be why EJ confused Johnny Wilson and Elijah Cooks.
Or maybe it's why the players voted Cooper DeJean as the 60th best player in the league, right?
All right, well, that's my takeaway.
I agree with you there. I've got a few other little tiny things. So they did one interesting thing from an offensive personnel grouping standpoint where Jalen Hurts, this was with the ones, where it'd be Jalen Hurts with the first string offensive skill. So like A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert, go down the line. But then the second team O-line. And then the next period, they kept Jalen Hurts with the first team O-line, but then it was second team skill. So I thought that was, they did a little bit of that today throughout the course of the after. I think overall, we talked yesterday about how the defense kind of won the day. I think that was the case for today's practice as well. And this is that classic point in camp where it's, the defense is just ahead of the offense from a pass game standpoint. And Tanner McKee, I know, talked about it after practice. The different disguises and the different blitzes. Just the defense is ahead right now in terms of like execution and what they're doing out in the field.
They did have an actual play for a 2-point conversion to win the game, ones against ones, and it was a sweep to Saquon Barkley, and it was one where Saquon is coming in with a full head of steam. Cooper DeJean is there, and they were going to meet at like the 1-yard line.
Yep.
And the defense is like pretending that they would have got that, and Lane's like, "That's a TD MFer."
Yeah.
And Saquon comes back, he's like, "You're not making that tackle." Like, it's good. It's a fun. That's a fun. It happened the other day with Jalen Hurts and Zach Baun in the open field.
Yep.
Where Jalen gives him a little stiff arm, and Zach Baun's like, "Dude, like." Yeah. I would have killed you if this was a game. The back and forth on those is funny.
I remember asking Gannon about that, and he was like, he puts it like he put down more sacks than the offense did. And I'm curious how Fangio grades it as well.
The chat is now going through other songs that are probably going to play the next few days. My favorite. So Born in the USA is going to play it somewhere. That's easy. Born in the USA will play at some point in the next few, like 3 to 4 practices.
It was a sloppy day, like in terms of the flags.
Yeah.
There were more flags.
Well, the real officials were at practice today, right?
Yes.
So I think they were more eager to throw flags
more eager.
than the guys who were usually there.
Yeah, so it could be the heat, as Jalen Hurts said. The heat makes cowards of us all, and
fatigue makes
fatigue.
Cowards of us all.
Fatigue. I definitely don't want to misquote Jalen. Fatigue makes cowards of us all.
Is there a Mr. Quote, Jalen?
I asked Jalen a question today, and he said that's a pointed question, and I didn't know if I perceived it as like a compliment. I don't know if he used pointed.
I think what he meant by that is he knows that you were referring to a specific instance, I think.
Oh, okay.
That's how I took it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Well, explain what your question was.
Yeah, so I asked him because I watch Jalen between series. Like, I'd like to see who he's talking to. So there's times when he's talking to the coaches. There's times when he's talking to the other quarterbacks. There's times when he's going up to a specific player. So there was one point today where he went over to AJ and was discussing something with AJ.
Yep.
So he's intentional in what he does. So I'm curious what dictates it. And
you will find out the answer to that question, Zach, in
overtime. Yeah, so he said that he actually gave a really good answer. Like, he puts a lot of thought into it, and there's things that he really wants to work out on the field, like in the moment. as opposed to later on in the meeting room. So I enjoyed that from Jalen.
I could be wrong. I took it to mean that he knew you had something specific in mind.
Oh, okay.
But I could be. That's how I interpreted it.
But he answered the question like thoughtfully.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like pointed like like you're trying to get me.
Yeah,
Like he
yeah.
was. Yeah. So I appreciated that from Jalen.
Yeah. Okay.
Did you see the Sprite commercial?
No.
He has a
Not
Sprite
yet.
commercial. Now he's the premise of the commercial is he's not answering the reporter's questions.
Okay.
Okay. Like that's what kind of
interesting.
question is that?
Yeah,
What kind of question is that? And then like the punchline at the end is like, if you want to, let your play do the talking, but drink Sprite or something like that. But yeah, I think my son's gonna be in the Sprite based on that commercial.
I'm not a Sprite guy.
Did Michael Jordan do Sprite commercials? He did, right?
He did. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
You think he's gonna just start? We're gonna get like naked Jalen Hurts doing Hanes commercials. We'll get Gatorade. We'll get like the whole.
I gotta say, like, you can track Jalen's progression. His rookie year, he was doing like Louisiana hot sauce, and then he was doing lemon water the second year, and now he's got Sprite. He's got a luxury car company. I forget which one it is. Jordan brand, obviously. So yeah, the marketing of Jalen Hurts has progressed with the playing of Jalen Hurts.
The most interesting thing I thought Jalen Hurts said today is something that I would like to explore maybe on a full episode at some point, which is he was asked about Kyle McCord and Dorian Thompson-Robinson.
Yes.
And he said, well, the dynamic with me and them is he said, I can say it now, is different than it was when I was a rookie.
Yes.
Meaning Carson Wentz was not going out of his way to be helpful to Jalen Hurts.
No, not at all.
Because he perceived it as competition, whereas Jalen Hurts is not perceiving this as competition. These guys are here to help the bottom of the roster, and he's here to help them get better. I think there's a good thing to be done about what that rookie year was like for Jalen Hurts.
I agree.
You can't steal that story.
That's a good one.
I'm calling dibs on us doing that.
Okay.
I've spoken it into existence.
Show's on. The show lives forever on YouTube. So we'll see it.
All right. Anything else? Anything else from people you talked to today?
Yeah. So I don't believe we talked to Tanner McKee in the spring, right? I was going through my mental Rolodex, and
Talked for a while today.
Yeah, and I don't recall talking to Tanner McKee. So there were a lot of questions about like specific plays, and I was curious about like Tanner's reaction to the offseason, right? And someone actually tweeted me that on your hit with Anthony today, Anthony talked about how other teams called the Eagles about.
Anthony said that there were a lot of. He said there was a lot of interest in Tanner McKee from around the league.
Yeah.
And he specifically said New Orleans, Cleveland, and Las Vegas.
In Las Vegas, yeah. Anthony's got the nuggets.
Scoop.
Good scoop, yeah. And so
Cleveland means like they called about McKee, and they're like, no, but we'll
give you Pickett.
We'll throw you Pickett. Yeah.
Yeah, but so I asked Tanner how he felt about the offseason, and if he viewed it as an endorsement of himself, or if he wanted to go somewhere where he had a chance to start. And he said he was really excited when Howie called and told him the news. Like, told him the news that Pickett's traded. And he said that he viewed that as like the way the organization views him, and that that they think that if something were to happen to Jalen, he can step in. I imagine like anyone else, he would have loved to probably go to New Orleans and compete to start for Kellen Moore. But yeah, the Eagles very clearly, like we said, identified McKee as the number 2 here.
Correctly so. I mean, they've got him for 2 years at this contract, right? You wonder what happens after that if all goes well.
Yeah, and then Stout. Unfortunately, he was not on the podium. I came in like a minute late because I was in McKee, and so I couldn't hear everything. But I heard the tail end of him talking about Steen. And he talked about how he was asked about Jason Kelce. He said Kelsey's part of the family, loves having Kelce here, things like that. Kelce, by the way, like say what you want about him. This is a guy who is, a very successful podcaster, right? He has a lot of things he can do with his time.
Yeah.
he's sitting there like or standing there in 100-degree heat at 9 a.m. on a Tuesday in July watching O-line drills. Like he doesn't have to be there.
And doing, by the way, like caught him a couple times doing pass sets. Like
Yeah.
it was pretty funny. I actually had that down on my sheet to bring that up.
Yeah, like
I counted 4 ex-Eagles at practice today.
Brandon Brooks.
Brandon Brooks.
Oh, I miss Brandon.
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
Jason Kelsey. Rodney McLeod. And?
Mike Mamula.
Sean Landon.
Oh, Mike Mamula was there. That's
Yeah,
right.
and Sean Landetta.
Landetta was there? Okay,
He
goes
was
to 6.
he was the alumni. I didn't see Barrett Brooks there today. Typically see
Barrett
Barrett.
was there. I
Barrett was
thought Barrett was
there.
there. G. Cobb was there.
Okay,
G-Cobb.
so now we're up to 8. I mean, Mike Quick was
Mike
there.
Quick was there.
Okay.
Yep.
But so too was Paul Warlow.
Was he?
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you tell Martin Frank?
No.
You should have.
I mean, Martin's got him tracked. He's got he's probably got an alert. Yeah. So there you go. All right. Anything else on your guys' notes?
Jalix Hunt flew off the edge. Team red zone drill at the end would have been a sack. Anaya Smith, good effort blocking down the field on a Jalen Hurts scramble. We said yesterday we talked about Ben Van Sumeren. We haven't seen Ben. We saw Ben Van Sumeren on the field with the ones
As a
today.
fullback.
As a fullback, yes, correct.
Jalen hit Will Shipley on a nice low red
Yes.
zone Texas route for a touchdown.
Yes,
That was a nice, and honestly, like a throw that
we haven't seen him
Jalen
make.
doesn't make a lot.
He hit
right?
Saquon for one a couple days ago.
Yeah.
Too.
That would be a nice little, you talk about the incremental improvements.
Yep.
That would be a nice addition to his game in the offense.
I thought Jalen's best throw of the day was the first play of the second team period. He hit A.J. Brown on a deep out route. Really good timing placement. Hit A.J. right in the hands, right along the sideline. That was the other thing I did.
Also, we got to see the most popular guest in PHLY sports history,
Yes.
Allison Stowlin.
Yeah.
That's right.
Was at practice. So it was good. It was good seeing Allison.
Was the deliverance of the award to Stout, like did
Yeah,
that
how'd that
go
go for you?
exactly as you planned?
No, it didn't. I wasn't happy with myself with that.
I thought you did a good job.
Allison,
you.
by the way, she did say that was one of the highlights of her summer. Likewise.
The show,
Yeah.
yeah. Thank you.
That was fantastic.
Yeah, that and make sure that's a timeless show, by the way.
Yes.
That's like an evergreen. You can always go back and watch
Yes.
that in the catalog. I was.
You're hoping for more?
Well, I was hoping to be on the podium. And I wanted to be before he spoke, and it was
I think if it had been before, you would have got a crankier Stout.
okay, maybe so.
And if it was more clearly for the cameras, I think you might have gotten a
Gotcha.
crankier
Yeah,
Stout.
that's what I felt like. I felt like awkward, like coming in at the end, being
Yeah.
like, "By the way, yeah, I want to tell you this," but I was going to, and given that like it was outside, it was hot out, like he was sweating. I didn't want to take up his time. The only thing I was going to add was that Paul Zimmerman, who it's named after, is like it's a fitting award for him. Paul Zimmerman was born in Philly, grew up in New York, played offensive line in college. Like a lot of people of our generation, learned offensive line play. I'm sure you have good insight about Dr. Z, but learned offensive line play from Dr. Z in Sports Illustrated. So I thought that was pretty cool. But the sentiment I try to convey is that here in Philly, we've seen for 12 years, like the impact he's had on players' careers, on players' lives, as we talked about on the show. But this award was not voted in Philly. This award was voted nationally.
Yeah.
So it says a lot about him that he's recognized by football writers across the country.
And of course, he tried to deflect and say it's all about the players.
Yeah.
Can't be great without the greatness of
Yeah.
others. But I think he is underneath it all,
Yeah.
touched by the honor.
I think so.
Yeah, he deserves it.
Came off that way.
He earned it. Yeah.
Okay. All right, good stuff, everybody. No practice for the Eagles tomorrow, but we will still be here at 2:00. Zach and myself. Eagles return to the field on Thursday and Friday. Is the forecast for Friday still rain?
That's what it says. Now we'll see. Those indoor practices are not nearly as enjoyable for us.
No.
What's it saying on
Yeah, I gotcha.
on the weather app?
Stand by.
You guys got good weather apps, or you just
I feel
use
good about
you
it.
just use the
Oh no, you can't use the
Okay.
standard. No.
You want to give a plug, or it's not?
Yeah, shout out
AccuWeather.
shout out to a listener, AccuWeather.
Yeah.
You got that. You got that umbrella.
Yes, yeah. Gave me the tour of
That's right.
AccuWeather. Really appreciate that.
Yeah, I've used AccuWeather. I find it to be pretty good. Friday, periods of rain in the morning, otherwise cloudy. Rain can lead to slower travel and reduced visibility. So keep that in mind when you're coming here after practice. 74 degrees, the high.
Oh.
So it's going to be, everyone's going to be getting sick. 74 degrees. It's 99 tomorrow.
By the way, the listener, Steve. I want to make sure. Yeah, shout out to Steve. Yeah.
Shout out to Steve.
Does an awesome tour of AccuWeather.
Shout out to Zack, who is a listener who is one of the guys who does security on the sidelines.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Oh,
Nice.
awesome.
Yeah. I got to say, for those guys, in the past, they've been given like green shirts. Tough blow for them to be wearing black, you know?
I feel like it's been a mix
yeah,
of the black
yeah.
and the...
Yeah, but
I think it's
black
typically
is
black.
tough.
Although, I mean, I might as well. I had this conversation today. This morning, I was initially wearing a lighter shirt, and I switched to black.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
To be a football guy?
No, because I felt like the lighter shirt shows the sweat. Like I had like a gray shirt on, right? And I feel like a gray shirt will show sweat.
Yeah.
The black doesn't show sweat.
Yeah, but you're concerned about coming on a show.
That's what I was. Yeah,
that's not the case for the guys
Oh,
who
sure,
are there
yeah,
just
sure.
working.
You're right,
Yeah.
you're right. But that was so I changed into black because
I can
I
see
just
the
thought
thought
like it'd
behind
be
that, yeah.
unbecoming to just like have like sweat,
Sure.
showing out. Yeah.
Yeah. If you were that worried about it, you just bring a change of shirt.
I probably should do that these practices. Yeah, I'm trying to reduce laundry. So
Yeah, yesterday was brutal. Sweating all morning. Then I played softball at night. I felt like I was like just caked in sweat for 13 hours. I mean, what a sacrifice.
Thoughts and prayers.
Shout out to Jeremy for banging home a game-winning grand slam in the top of the last inning last night. We needed that. What a
did not know where you're going with that one.
There he is, everybody. HZ to close it out. We will be back tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Thanks to everybody for watching and listening. Thanks to Julia for making it all happen. Please, blue sky me or comment on the video below if you have suggestions for the Osprey nominees for Bo's Dovebird, Fran's Dovebird, Zach's Dovebird, and the best short-lived storyline of the season. A couple tickets left. So you're going to want to be there. You're going to want to be there. That's all I can say. And that's all we got. We'll talk to you tomorrow. And as always, we love you.
We all silly like the mayor.